Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the 3D. My name is Michael J. Russ, your host. This is episode 126, and I'm recording this episode on Christmas Eve at about 2 o'clock Central Time in the United States. And I got to tell you, it's been an interesting last 4 months for me because we've had disruption in the kitchen and the dining room. In the beginning of October, a flood from a broken pressure valve on the refrigerator flooded underneath the flooring. Black mold resulted. The whole kitchen had to be gutted. The dining room had to be gutted. Everything had to be redone. So, beautifully enough, we were able to pretty much put 90%, if not 93 or 4%, of the kitchen back together, make it operational in 7 weeks. I can't tell you how big a feat that is. It was. However, we remained positive and everything fell into place, from the gentleman who did the mold remediation to the people we chose for a new cabinet, new granite, new flooring. Everything happened. Nothing was delayed. Nothing was back ordered. And the people, the installers, they pulled through. Yeah, we had our couple of days where people didn't show up because of one reason or another. Our schedule kind of got pushed back a couple of days. However, we took a vacation, and while we were gone, the last touches were put on the plumbing and electrical and backsplash and range hood to make the kitchen operational when we returned. And the day we returned, we were able to cook in our kitchen after glamping in our den for 7 weeks, washing dishes in the bathtub. It was pretty amazing. I say this because this episode is about how to make 2021 your best year yet. And to illustrate that, you really, even when things are going great, and for us, I'm really blessed to have had one of the best years on record for myself and what I do. Even though all my speaking engagements were canceled, except for one in February before COVID, other things still went well. I always keep a positive tone in my inner conversations, my self-talk. I'm a person who never beats himself up. I've learned over the last 30 years that beating myself up has no intrinsic value whatsoever. No value. Beating yourself up, if you do it, is doing more harm than good, because your inner conversation, what you say about yourself, it simply programs yourself and your reality, the reality that you experience, because it colors the way that you experience your reality, the events and circumstances that unfold around you. And so I came up with seven ways to make 2021 your best year yet. And here's number one. Set the intention to make 2021 your best year yet. That's the first thing. You have to intend for it to be your best. I like to say make it a great day, not have a great day. Let's not let the day unfold, and of course, it will unfold anyway. However, when you say, I'm going to make it a great day, the intention is there to actually do that. Regardless of what happens that day, you're going to respond to it in a way that keeps the greatness of that day flowing. And it doesn't matter what it is. Just go back to that example a second ago. When I got back from California from visiting my mother and found out that there was a leak 3 days later that had been going on for several weeks, you have a choice. You always do. You have a choice about how to perceive the situation. Yeah, the kitchen has to be gutted, torn apart, destroyed. It disrupts your life in many ways. You just basically adapt. That's what you do. You have to be agile. You have to be flexible. And you have to adapt. However, if I had approached this leaking situation with a lot of drama and anger and frustration and all of that, it wouldn't make it the same experience that it was. I would have been expecting that things would go wrong. I would be expecting that we wouldn't find the people that we needed. It just colors the whole thing in a negative way, in a negative light. And that's really not what you want to do. Remaining positive draws the frequency of positivity towards you as well. The vibration you put out, it literally comes right back to you like a boomerang. Always remember that. And when you encounter adversity, or what I call it seemingly adverse circumstances, because adversity is a perception. So you initially think you're facing adversity, and your resilience comes from understanding that you have a choice as to how you perceive the situation or circumstances that you're in, or the people that you're encountering. So that's how you create an intention and follow through to make 2021 your best year yet. That's the first thing you have to do. That's the foundation. Now, number 2, take what you can from 2020 and let the rest go. It's been a tumultuous year for a lot of people. It really has. This COVID thing has really put a crimp in everyone's lifestyle. People are working from home that hadn't before. When you had an office, you wanted to see your family and get together at gatherings, and you really couldn't. Going out to bars and restaurants and just engaging. I mean, I'm looking at things on TV, just movies now. You're looking at movies pre-COVID, and you're seeing what's happening. Concerts and fun things going on and people having a good time. And you're going, that all disappeared this year. None of that could occur because of COVID. We all have to be, again, flexible and agile and be able to adapt to whatever the circumstances are. And those people who made the best of a situation that for them became adverse at first made this year a great year for themselves. They found the silver lining in the dark cloud and were able to shift and adapt in ways that they otherwise would not have. And that's the beauty. That is the beauty of keeping a positive perspective. And you got to take what you can from this year, from 2020, or any year, or even from any day, for that matter, any misfortunes that you had, any mistakes. Take the dregs of what occurred to you, and don't drag them into 2021, because that's going to, again, color 2021. You're going to be dragging all this negative energy into a new year, and it's also going to basically blind you to the good that could occur. The negativity will only weigh you down. Someone very, very brilliant and profound once said, if you could simply learn to forget about what happened yesterday and embrace the moment of today, the present moment of today, you would be 100 million times better off. Yeah, the past does shape who you are in the present. However, what you think about, what you perceive in the present of your circumstances, what your inner conversations are, all of this, what your attitude is, what your state of mind is, that determines your future reality. So the past is simply the past, unchangeable, uncontrollable, and one of the most challenging things for humans to do is to not carry the past forward into the present and the future. It's one of those things. It's the greatest challenge that you have in life. And make 2021 the year that you refuse to do that you resist that temptation, that you set the intention, again, to let the past go and embrace the present moment and all the opportunities, all the glory, all the wondrous magic that the present, the magnificence, I should say, of the present moment. You embrace that and work with it, massage it to make yourself and your life better. And as I said earlier in the year, make yourself better tomorrow than you are today. Number 3, be receptive to even more change. Change is always an inevitable thing. It'll always be, is now, and will forever be inevitable. So don't fight it, embrace it. I've said this before in its own podcast dedicated to change. Since you are not privy to knowing what your future holds, or being in control of its varied consequences, it's really best to adopt a positive perception of change. That's a choice you make. You can say, worst thing ever, could be the best thing ever. That's a choice you make. That's a perception, a transformation in perception to go from worst thing ever to could be the best thing ever. Let me look at this silver lining. Back to the kitchen example. Yeah, my girlfriend didn't like the floor. The 9-year-old cabinets have been showing some wear. Yeah, little discomfort. That particular misfortune happened to give us a brand new kitchen with granite that is just awesome. All paid for by insurance because it was covered by insurance. So we got new cabinets, new flooring, amazing new granite, amazing new black, even more amazing new backsplash to go with that granite. I walk into the kitchen every morning. I have a hard time believing that it's actually our kitchen. It looks so absolutely awesome. And we could have looked at it, we could have carried the negativity of why did it happen, how did it happen, all that anger or that frustration. We could have been ticked off at each other for having to get a hot plate and a new refrigerator, a small refrigerator for the den and operate out of that. And I'm cooking on the grill every night or on this hot plate. We could have really taken it down a deep, dark hole, but we chose not to. We chose to embrace it, to say, okay, instead of the worst thing ever, this is an opportunity for us to actually design this kitchen a little bit differently this time, to make it what we want, change the faucets and change the sinks or do whatever. Change the flooring. We love it now. It's amazing. It took a little while. We had to go through some ups and downs to get there. However, with a positive perception, we saw the good instead of the bad. Right? When you have a positive attitude, you're open. You're open. Embrace change with positivity. Always. It's a decision. It's a choice you make right there in that moment. And even if you initially perceive the change as, oh my gosh, this is terrible, right? This is really going to disrupt my life and my family. Look beyond that. You never really know because you're not privy to future consequences. You never really know because accidents and coincidences, I don't believe in them. I think, in my view, everything happens for a reason. And it's up to us to determine what that reason is. And sometimes the reason isn't as straightforward as what you might think. Sometimes an accident with a kitchen could bring you in contact with another human being that you would have otherwise never come into contact with. That person could end up being a long-term friend. They can end up helping you in some other way, or you helping them in some way that enhances their life. Many things can occur. However, if you're stuck in anger mode and frustration, worry mode, drama mode, you'll never see it. You'll be blind to looking for those opportunities. The silver lining within the cloud, the ability to turn lead into gold, that kind of thing. Lemons into lemonade, the best lemonade ever, in fact. You will miss them. Now, number 4, remain aware of your sovereign right to choose your perceptions, responses, feelings, and inner conversations. I've spent a lot of time on this in my podcasts the last few months. You have to remember that you are the sovereign ruler of your mind, body, and spirit, and the controller, the person who's in control of your thoughts, words, feelings, and actions. I'm not going to go back and just go deep into this as deeply as I've done it. I'm just going to simply say that just remain aware. When things occur, when people say things, when something happens to you, to other people, whatever, that impacts you, remember that you choose how you feel, ultimately based on the way that you're perceiving your situation. This is something that is completely within your control. The more you adopt this standpoint, this mindset of sovereignty, the smoother your life will be, because you will be making your life smoother. You will be in control of your life. You'll have your hand on the rudder, guiding your ship through the winds, no matter what those winds are, how fast they're blowing, which way they're blowing from. You'll be there. You'll make yourself more agile, more flexible when change occurs. Number 5, make the practice of gratitude and forgiveness an active part of your daily regimen, your daily routine. When you do something, you find out you made a mistake somewhere, forgive yourself for it immediately. Just say, in your mind, you just don't have to say it out loud. In my mind, I forgive myself for this. Okay, let's move through this. Forgiveness and gratitude are great tools for letting go. Letting go of the past. As I said, I believe number 2, the second of my 7 ways to make 2021 your best year yet. Take what you can from 2020 and then let it go. Forgiveness and gratitude are active elements for making that happen. Active elements. So you use them on a daily basis. Go back to 2020 and whatever happened. If you got laid off, if you got a cut in pay, if you got furloughed, whatever it may be that happened to you, you have to simply forgive yourself for your accountability in whatever it was that happened. Be responsible and forgive yourself for your active part. It takes 2 to tango. If you get your foot stepped on by your dance partner, which is life, you have to forgive yourself for actually be responsible, number 1, for being in the dance, being on the dance floor, because if you hadn't been on the dance floor, you wouldn't have gotten your foot stepped on. Take responsibility for that and forgive yourself for having made that choice to be there. And be grateful for the opportunity to have been there in the first place. That's how you practice this on a daily basis. Some people make lists and journals of the things they're grateful for before they go to bed to set a positive tone for their sleep and to wash away negativity that has occurred, negative perceptions that have occurred, negative feelings and emotions throughout the day. It's always good to go to bed with no negativity on your mind, not carrying an event forward. Yeah, if you have an argument with somebody, best make sure that you settle it before you go to bed. As I said earlier, your ego likes to play. Nighttime is your ego's playground. If you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about, the possibilities of what can go wrong based on something that happened the previous day, that's your ego playing tricks on you. That's what it is. Sleep is your ego's playground. It's basically the best way that it was put to me. So practice forgiveness and gratitude as much as possible throughout the day, all along the day. Make a mistake, forgive yourself for it, move on. Be grateful for your circumstances. Sit back. It's very easy, extremely easy, to become so caught up in the minutia of what's going on in your day and your circumstances and the people you're around, whatever is going on, that you forget to be grateful that you actually are here on this planet, walking, able to engage in whatever it is that you're engaging in. And you really have to be grateful for that, because you could be experiencing the opposite, which is nothing. There's gratitude in everything. Worst thing that happens to you, you're in the hospital, you got COVID, you got to be grateful that you have had the life that you've had. Grateful that you have good people around you helping you out. If you've lost a loved one this year, you've got to forgive yourself for any failings that you are perceiving about your engagement with that person who's no longer around, to say, hey, I forgive you, or I love you, or I care about you. Never put yourself in a position where you say, oh, I wish I had done this. Just do it. You let things stand in the way of relationships. You let bitter disagreements, arguments, the need to be right about whatever it is that's going on between you in that moment. And believe me, I know that's a challenge too, because, I'm a person who likes to rely on facts and information. And those facts and information are right. Details, statistics, whatever it is, the science of things. And there are other people who simply say, no, that's wrong. It's simply out of hand. They just dismiss it without looking at the facts. And you're going like, I'm right. I know I'm right. And you want to go prove it, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you just have to just let it go. Just forgive yourself for being someone who wants to be right. But again, let's get back to somebody. If you lost somebody this year, and there's 300,000 plus people who've been lost already to COVID, not to mention all the other situations and circumstances diseases, whatever, circumstances that have caused people to pass on. And you always want to, if the positive side of losing someone is, outside of that person being lost, it's a good reminder to embrace the people that are around you. And that's the way I see loss. Yes, I forgive myself for any interactions that might have been negative with that person. You just have to let that go because it's nothing you can control any longer. However, you have control over who you engage with today. And this takes me on to number 6. Choose happiness, kindness, compassion, empathy, and love instead of their alternatives when faced with people in events and circumstances. Act from happiness, act from kindness, compassion, empathy, love. Embrace them as you would embrace gratitude and forgiveness. Put them into your arsenal to deal with what comes at you throughout the day. Make these elements your vision for how you're going to live your life. Now, number 7. This is an interesting one, and I threw this in there because I think it's important to do this. I see the opposite. Out there, first let me tell you what it is. Actively seek interactions with people, music, media, and circumstances that evoke positive feelings and emotions, uplifting feelings and emotions, hopeful feelings and emotions over fear instead of fear, drama, anger. Because I know people that embrace things that make them afraid, things that make them sad, things that make them angry. And listen, there's enough out there to make you sad if you want to be sad. And I understand that. And that is an emotion that you have to allow to yourself to feel. You have to feel sadness. Yeah, you have to feel that emotion. Let it flow through you. It's a part of moving through the process, grief or whatever, a loss. You have to do that. However, it's up to you to decide when you want to shift your perceptions about the situations and circumstances so the sadness subsides. I lost someone I really loved in life when I was 22 years old. Someone who I could have gone on to marry and have children with, and I have never had children. So that's the kind of love I had for this person. And I can truly say that to anyone who's lost a loved one, at that age, losing someone that you cared about that deeply, yeah, I've been through it. I can say I understand exactly what you're feeling. And I went through all the consequences. And finally, 10 years later, I went to a therapist who happened to be very metaphysical, and she helped me shift my perception about the loss of this individual. And I've remembered that to this day, the power of perception. So the other example I want to give is that drama TV came about during the first writer's strike back in the, I think it was the 90s, late 90s. Can't tell you exactly what it was, but there was a writer's strike in Hollywood. And I know this because my brother's also an actor, Tim Russ. And the writer's strike put a lot of projects on hold. And if you're not familiar with the process of making a television show or a movie, you need writers, obviously, to put together the content. And you have to, and everything else springs forward from that content. And so the thing that sprung out of that writer's strike was drama TV. The kind of television, reality TV, that's basically what I'm referring to. Because reality TV doesn't require people who have any acting skills whatsoever. It is produced. It is contrived. However, it doesn't require an actual script. And it's all based on negativity. Because drama is it's contrived drama is really the way that I use these programs. But they're very, very popular. And they're everywhere. Now, the thing about contrived drama is negativity sells more than positivity. Now, there are some positive reality TV shows, and they're awesome, and you must embrace them. They show up on various channels where people are. You can see people overcome their situations and circumstances to they just pull at your heartstrings. How amazing people, the transformations within people can be. And again, I must say this: all reality TV is contrived. I don't watch reality TV because I'm not interested in the contrived nature of them. I don't want to see the drama and the negativity unfold, and some of it is literally off the charts, crazy. I'm not a person who watches slasher movies or a lot of murder stuff. I don't want to. Murder mysteries, are kind of interesting. They are, because you can see there's transformation involved amongst the players. And that is really cool. I like to see things that involve transformation from one thought, one attitude, one state of mind to another. And that state of mind, that other state of mind being positive, where you see somebody transform. And there's a lot of transformative TV out there. I mentioned in a couple episodes ago, if you ever get a chance to see Jingle Jangle, that's a transformative. The Greatest Showman is also a great movie that does that. There are just tons of movies out there that when they're over, at the end of the movies, as the credits are going, you're feeling as if you could yourself go out and do and be anything you ever wanted to be in your life. They're uplifting. They're hopeful. They're optimistic. They make you feel amazing, magnificent inside. And those are the kinds of things that I like to purposely, intentionally watch. You're always going to be exposed to things that have the potential to bring you down. This number 7 is about you engaging with people and activities, choosing circumstances in your life that actually generate hope and optimism and positivity, generate happiness, versus their alternatives. And so put your money behind activities and people that generate experiences that you can feel happy about, proud about. Giving is another thing, and giving of your time, giving of your assets, your resources, that is an activity that falls within the realm. And this happens to be Christmas time, and so I've done my donating to various organizations that I support. Even more, I support them all throughout the year, but however, I support them a little bit more in the month of December. There's a great need right now out there for helping people with food insecurity, retraining. People need hope. People need empowerment. And if you're a positive person, I hope you are, look for those opportunities to lift somebody up. It will make you feel absolutely amazing inside. There is nothing like it. There's a sense of fulfillment in that kind of action than I think just about anything else you could do. It sticks with you for so long. And what I wish for you is that in 2021, you give of yourself. You look for the opportunities to display empathy, the sincere empathy, compassion, love, and kindness that you have within you, and that you engage with people from that standpoint, and create and engage in activities and people and circumstances. Make choices that lift your spirits versus depress them. That's it. That's the 7. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And I know that regardless of what's going on in your life, 2021 can be your absolute best year ever. Just manage your expectations about what the best means to you. Be open. And don't bend over $1 to pick up a dime. That's a great term. People outside the country, in Russia, Ireland, Germany, Switzerland, when you're listening to this, Mexico, what that really means is don't overlook an opportunity for an amazing experience to engage in something minimal. If you have an opportunity to engage in something, do something now that can bring brilliance to your life, it's very easy to overlook that for something else that only brings you 10% of the emotion. Don't bend over $1 to pick up a dime. All right. Make it a great 2021. Happy New Year. If you're listening to this in 2021, still same thing. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I'll say that in July. Happy New Year. Every day is a new day. Make it what you want it to be. It's Michael Russ. This is Beyond the 3D. Thank you for sharing this podcast with everybody you know on Google Podcast, SoundCloud, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Let somebody know this podcast exists. I guarantee you that they will thank you for it, even if they don't know that they really need it right now. You never know what somebody really needs because most people don't tell you what they're really thinking. So share it with them anyway, and give it as a gift to someone. Just the information that it exists. It's free, and I have such a joy doing it, and I hope that comes through to you. Be well. Always make it a great day. Stay safe, and make 2021 and every year thereafter, every day, every month, every year, your best ever. Bye-bye.